everyone, Dani here, and welcome to Spenelli Speaks. I hope you all are doing well. If you are new here, welcome, and if you have been here a few times, it is very nice to see you. Today I'm going to be doing a book review, as you can tell by the thumbnail. This book was actually a book that I was contacted by the author to read. They thought it would be something I may be interested in and was hoping that I would share that with you. And that book is a debut novel, actually, and written by a man called Reuven Fenton, who has written for the New York Post, I believe, since 2007. I don't know if they're still writing, but at least that's what the back said. And that is Goyhood. This is a book about family and finding one's self, finding one's faith and religion. And all in all, decent. I gave it 3 stars, which is not bad. I know some people are like, ooh, 3 stars. 3 stars for me is not bad. I very rarely give 5 stars. So 3 stars is good. There's a few things that, brought it down from a 4, and we'll kind of get a little bit into that. But I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the book so you can make your own decisions as far as wanting to read it. It is releasing this week, so you are going to be able to go right out and grab it for yourself. But I wanted to kind of start at the beginning and help you through, like, what is this? Because for me, when I first saw the title, I was like, I did not know that was a word. And so let's talk about that. So Goyhood. Goyhood, as the author puts it, is the state of rebounding from one travesty to the next. So I think it is like a play on words. So boyhood, Goyhood, Goy being a non-Jew. And as we find out, the main character becomes a Goy when he loses his religion. And it's kind of a unique story because we meet the main characters. We meet Marty and David. They're young boys, I'd say about 10 years old. And they're just out and about in town, like the good old days when you used to leave the house and you'd come back when the lights were on. They're just riding their bikes. They see a rabbi and his family moving in. They have this huge menorah in their front yard, and they find it kind of interesting. And when they get home, they see that the rabbi is actually there speaking with their mother. And as it turns out, they are in fact Jewish, according to her. Um, so they find out they're Jewish, and Marty really takes that as a sign of his calling. That is what he is meant to do, meant to be, and he really follows in line with Judaism and becoming a Jewish scholar. He marries into a very prominent Jewish family and basically spends his days studying and learning from a Jewish text, and really just completely that becomes his identity, day in, day out kind of thing. And he learns that his mother passes, that which brings him back to his hometown, and in that discovers that he actually is not Jewish, and his entire world just crumbles before his eyes. And he learns this in the company of his twin brother, David, that we met in the beginning of the book, and that rabbi, the hometown rabbi. And they concoct a plan for him to be converted before anyone in his life knows. So his wife believes he is there in mourning with his mother's funeral and whatnot. And in fact, he is devising a plan and kind of going along with it to have a road trip to get this conversion. Now, his brother David is a polar opposite, very different than him, and he kind of takes this as an opportunity to reconnect with Mayer. So in the beginning, he is young Marty, and then converts. Now his name is Mayer. So Mayer and David go on this road trip that is just insane. So many weird things happen. They ended up taking in this one-eyed dog they name Popeye. They end up collecting a young woman who is a Instagram influencer. And it's just so interesting how many things happen to them, and why it happens to them. And the characters themselves, I actually really enjoyed the David character, the brother. I felt like you could really see that even though the things that happened weren't great, his intentions were pure. And I feel like he really loved his brother and really was really trying to connect with him and trying to give him life, because his life before was really stagnant. And not trying to say like that one can't devote their lives to things such as, this scholarly work, but he really just lost himself in it. And I think his brother was trying to help him, see the light, not to give it up, but to have a little bit of both, to, not lose himself. And then you have Mayer, who in the beginning for me, I felt so bad for him. Like, oh my goodness, how could this happen? He considers himself a counterfeit Jew, and it's just terrible. And he really, he's devastated, so he really takes out a lot of his anger and grief on his brother, and he's just so poo-pooing everything and he just wants to get where he needs to go, do the conversion, be done with it. He doesn't want anybody to know anything. He, is just not having a good time. And in the beginning, you really feel for him and you're really like, oh, poor guy. But then it really starts to, for me, get a little old. And I feel like toward the middle and very much through to the end, I feel like he was a bit self-righteous and a bit jerky. I just felt like he was kind of a jerk and he wasn't actually learning anything. Like he was becoming a little bit more of himself, but he also was not being open enough, I feel, to everything. There are moments where you feel like he is opening up and he has this real connection with nature. He, when he was young, was a bird watcher and was very, very much into that. And as the road trip progresses, you see that he's starting to reconnect with that a little bit. But I feel like he connected with the birds more than he did his brother. Um, and I feel like, and this is just me, and maybe I just did not read it the way it was meant. I didn't feel like he really learned much. I feel like by the end, it kind of was just like something that happened to him and not so much like a real epiphany. Like the question that kept coming up is, why would God do this to you? Why is this meant to happen? Because everything is meant, if we believe in the things we believe in, everything happens for a reason, and God does things for reasons. And why would God do this to you? And I don't know if he ever figures that out. And I don't know that it's meant to be figured out, but I feel like he just ignores so much. And and that's why I don't really know that I really liked his character by the end. I adored David. I really did. He was so kooky, but you just knew in his heart of hearts like he was doing it all for his brother. And I liked him much better. The side characters, the influencer, she was okay. I didn't really have any feelings, yay or nay, about her. I loved the dog. The dog was so cute. I really liked that addition. Um, as far as reading as a whole, if you, like myself, are not familiar with a lot of terminology in Judaism, like certain clothing, certain texts, just verbiage in general, definitely, have your phone ready or your computer ready to look up a few words. I did feel it was a little bit heavy in the beginning of the book, and as the book continued, the terms kind of came along with context, so it was a little bit easier to not have to look things up because you kind of were getting it in the middle there. But that didn't really affect my reading. I didn't have a problem with looking up a few things just because I wasn't familiar with them. But something to be aware of. And I think for me, the reason why this probably wasn't a 4 as far as ratings go is the end just felt, for if you follow me, I like things tied up in pretty little bows. I'm not a big fan of like ambiguous endings, and not to say that this was just like a black hole that it ends. No, it just was so open. It was, and I think that was the point. And a lot of people like that. A lot of people enjoy like the possibilities that are there. I like when an author just says, this person did this and this person did this. So that is just a me thing. But I feel like the ending was just a little bit too open and didn't have enough closure for me. I felt there were several things that just weren't closed up. The whole storyline with the wife, there's a lot of stuff that the reader understands is what's happening, and the people around Mayer understand what's happening, and he's not being told or understanding or getting what's happening. And that to me was really annoying, and it doesn't really come to fruition. Like, nothing happens there, in my opinion. And I feel like sometimes that is on purpose by the author. They choose that is the path that this particular couple is going to go on. But it didn't really sit with me very well at the end, because I feel like there should have been some kind of altercation there. I feel like there should have been some onus there, and I just didn't feel like there was. And so there's a lot that I was like, I feel like that character kind of got away with stuff, or I feel like that character didn't really own up to their mistakes or their, I don't know. But that's just me. Do I think this is a good book? Absolutely. Do I think you should go out and check it out? Absolutely. And that's my honest opinion. I would never have picked this up had I not been asked to do so. So I'm here letting you know, if you have not heard of this book and you're looking for something that is different and interesting and has some fun bits and really makes you think about yourself and where you're going in life and all of those kinds of things in a really non-intrusive way, then you should definitely pick this up. It definitely is one of those books that make you really think. And I liked that. I like books that get you thinking about yourself, get you thinking about others, and yeah, so definitely pick it up. So again, that's Goyhood by Reuven Fenton. It's out this week, so you'll be able to pick it up at your nearest bookstore. And yeah, so until next time, I hope you all are doing well, taking care, staying safe, reading something fantastic. With the days as they are now, you got to get out on that patio and read a good book. But until then, I hope y'all are doing something great. So.